Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today our topic is role of youth in society. But before I will go to the main topic, I would like to inform you that today world is celebrating World Consumer Rights Day. Every year, 15th March is celebrated as the World Consumer Rights Day. World Consumer Rights Day was inspired by President John F. Kennedy, who sent a special message to the US Congress on 15th March 1962, in which he formally addressed the issue of consumer rights. He was the first world leader to do so. The consumer movement first marked that date in 1983 and now uses the day every year to mobilize action on important issues and campaigns. This day signifies collaboration and solidarity in the international consumer movement, demanding that consumer rights are to be respected and protected. The event also gives a chance to protest against the market abuses and social injustices which undermine those rights. Each year, World Consumer Rights Day adopts a theme to highlight. This year, the theme promoted is Tackle Plastic Pollution. Media conference with Lal Goel hopes that consumer rights will always be respected and protected. Now coming to our main topic, that is the role of youth in society. A society is the people in the country or area thought of as a group who have shared customs and laws. A society is a group of individuals involved in persistent social interaction or a large social group sharing the same social territory, typically subject to the same political authority and dominant cultural expectation. Societies are characterized by patterns of relationships, that is, social relations between individuals who share a distinctive culture and institutions. Society may be described as the sum total of such relationships among its constituents of members. In the social sciences, a larger society often exhibits satisfaction or dominance patterns in subgroups. Societies construct patterns of behavior by deeming certain actions or speech as acceptable or unacceptable. These patterns of behaviors within a given society are known as societal norms. Societies and their norms undergo gradual and perpetual changes. Insofar as it is a collaborative, a society can enable its members to benefit in ways that would otherwise be difficult on an individual basis. Both individual and social or common benefits can thus be distinguished or in many cases found to overlap. A society can also consist of like-minded people governed by their own norms and values within a dominant larger society. This is sometimes referred to as a subculture, a term used extensively within criminology and also applied to distinctive subsections of a larger society. More broadly, and especially within structuralist thought, a society may be illustrated as an economic, social, industrial, or cultural infrastructure made up of yet distinct form, a varied collection of individuals. In this regard, society can mean the objective relationships people have with the material world and with other people rather than other people beyond the individual and their familiar social environment. The term society came from the Latin word societas, which in turn was derived from the noun socius, used to describe a bond or interaction between parties that are friendly or at least civil. Without an article, the term can refer to the entirety, although those who are unfriendly or uncivil to the remainder of society in this sense may be deemed to be antisocial. However, the Scottish economist Adam Smith taught instead that a society may subsist among different men as among different merchants from a sense of its utility without any mutual love or affection, if only they refrain from doing injury to each other. Used in the sense of an association, a society is a body of individuals outlined by the bonds of functional interdependence, possibly comprising characteristics such as national or cultural identity, social solidarity, language, or hierarchical structure. A youth is any person between the age of 15 years and 30 years, regardless of the gender. The youth are the backbone of a society, and hence they determine the future of any given society. This is because all other age groups, the kids, teenagers, middle-aged, and the senior citizens, rely on the youth and expect a lot from them. This makes the youth to be an important age group in both today's society and the future society than other age groups. Therefore, due to the high dependence on youth in the society, the youth have a role to play because the future of the families, communities, and the country lies in their hands. The role of the youth is simply to renew, refresh, and maintain. Youth have a role to renew and refresh the current status of our society, including leadership, innovations, skills, etc. Youth are expected to advance the current technology, education, politics, peace of the country. On the other hand, youths have also to maintain the culture, all good values in the societies, development projects, etc. Unfortunately, there is a lack of opportunities, professional training institutes, awareness for youth in the country. Educated youth is unemployed. They are unable to participate in the country's development because there is no quality education, and textbooks, policies, and curriculum differs across the country. Youth is now becoming a depressed segment of society. There are degrees but no jobs. There are universities but no professional education. There are schools but different education system between elite and poor. There is a government but not a proper policy as to how they can solve these issues. Government should realize the situation and take quick measures to save the future of the nation. Otherwise, situation may make the youth choose more destructive path that will be detrimental to our society. In order to consider the role of youth in India, it is helpful to first consider the overall situation in India in which young people are growing up. There are two areas in particular: the transition towards being a developed country and the changes in population. India has made great strides in technology and other areas, including the space program. However, much of the country remains unaffected by such developments, and there is still much to be done to create an inclusive society where the living conditions for the whole population are brought up to an acceptable level and absolute poverty is eradicated. The differences between castes and religions also still remain a factor in the cohesiveness of the population as a whole. The population of India is also increasing substantially and is expected to exceed that of China by the middle of this century. The future of any movement or nation depends on the integration of the youth in the political and other social activities. The grooming of those who have to ensure that genuine aspirations of the people are fully realized demands a conscious effort on the part of the revolutionary movement. We blame society, but we are society. And to discuss this very important topic today, the role of youth in society, we have our chief guest today, and she is Dr. Sundari Gandhi. Welcome, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, on our show. Dr. Sundari Gandhi was the vice principal and head of the Department of Psychology and Mass Media at Maheshi Dayanand College, Mumbai. Dr. Sundari has been very successful as a therapist, teacher, and instructor for the past 25 years. She is a member of the board of examiners for PhD at the Chennai University. She has completed her work on her DLit on extent of paraphylesis in the gay community, a cross-cultural comparison. Dr. Sundari has been regularly invited as a resource person by corporate sectors, colleges, universities, RBI associations, etc. She has conducted several workshops on stress management, personality development, Reiki, assertive training, and laughter therapy. Child psychology workshop, Little Adult, for pediatricians all over the country was successfully completed by Dr. Sundari from 2007 to 2010. From 2012 to 2017, she was the director for a set of training workshop for pediatricians titled Cracking the Kids Code, which was held in 35 centers across India. She was the director of Indus Viva Early Learning Center for the Specially Abled at Bangalore. From the center, she actively counseled more than 60 clients all over the world. She is a Reiki Grandmaster and has been teaching Reiki for 25 years. She is also an expert in EMDR, a therapy for PTSD. She is a practicing yoga master. She has undertaken a course in art of living. Dr. Sundari has keen interest in research and published several research papers in reputed national and international journals. Welcome, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, on our show. Dr. Sundari Gandhi, as you know, that today's topic is role of youth in society. And you are associated with so many things, and you are doing almost everything possible on earth, from a therapist to a teacher, an instructor, for everything, research work, whatnot, Reiki, art of living. Now, you have so much experience, and you know that, and because you had a teaching background, so you have dealt with the youth from very beginning. We would like to know the role of youth in society. Dr. Sundari Gandhi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. It's always a pleasure to be amongst young minds. I was really happy to see 6 young people out here today with whom I'm going to be talking or chatting or interacting for the next couple of hours. Well, as Mr. Goel said, my role has been that of a professor, a mentor for young minds for 25 long years in Mumbai. People used to comment, you people are always young, how? You know what I used to tell them? That is because we work with the young. Fresh ideas, fresh minds come to us every year. And if you can tap those fresh minds properly, if you can guide them, then the nation is made. Now, coming to the point, India, yes, all of us know, is a vast, diverse country with a huge population. As Mr. Goel was saying, very soon we will surpass the Chinese population too. Now, I was reading that of this population, a quarter are youth. And these, the so-called youth, are the dynamo. If you ask me, they are the dynamo. You have all the energy, you have all the potential, you have all the creativity. Then, what exactly is the role of these young people, all of you, in making our future society? What has been already made and what's going to be made? For me, as a psychologist, I look at this from 2 angles. One, where have we reached? What are the roadblocks that we have faced? I will want the opinion of all the 6 young people here on what I am going to be speaking on. What you feel about it? Well, you will say that India does have some opportunity for the youth, meaning some percentage of the population is getting the premier education, exposure, etc., etc. And you're able to move on. But there is a major population still. If you go to the grassroots levels, you will find many young people in the rural areas still groping for opportunities. They are not getting the opportunities. This is one side. Educational opportunities, pan-India, across India, is it the same? That's my question. Most of the parents run for premier institutes. Even when the baby is in the womb, they start planning. Oh, my child should go to this school. My child should go to this college and become this. Why? Because we believe premier institutes will give our children the best and they would become the best. Then what about how many premier institutes are there in India? That's the biggest question. How many people can really afford to go to them? What about the others? They go to government schools or colleges, then what happens to them? Will they become good leaders? Will they contribute to society? Or is that not going to happen? That's the first issue. Second issue, there is something called brain drain. Have you heard of this? I'm sure most of you people have heard of it. All youngsters, the good youngsters, the so-called cream of the society, all of them want to go to foreign lands. Is this right? Is this wrong? If it is right, why? See, as a psychologist, I would say in one way, having lived in this Bharat Desh mein 60 saal ji chuki hu, 60 plus. So if you ask me, as I saw my life going through, I saw quite a few problems for the youth. Like the college I taught was for the lower middle class, middle workers' children. Does that mean those children don't have potentials? They do have. But to tap them, they used to be very good in dramatics, etc., etc. Academics was a very limited people would do very well in academics. MD College is known for sports, for drama, etc. Now, where do these kids go? Can they aspire to become scientists? Can they aspire to become doctors? There are a few from MD College who have done exceptionally well. Yes. But my question is, when many of the institutions in India cannot cater to the needs of this so-called dynamo part of the population, help them to lead a very good life, what they dream of. See, after a certain point, it is not just money. You're looking for, especially the current population, the youth population, the sector wants what they call as satisfaction, what we call work calling. You want to actualize your potential. You want to do something which you are passionate about. You may be a doctor. You must be hearing all that nowadays. Many young ones, they train to be a doctor, they leave that profession and go to something else. That we call work calling. But can you really do that in India? So when such questions comes, there are so many blocks. There is a lot of red tapeism. Let's accept the fact. Okay, we cannot be living in ivory towers saying that.
Dr. Gandhi, some disturbance is coming from your
Yes.
side.
We cannot be living in ivory towers. Just give me a second. We have.
Dr. Gandhi has just gone to see some disturbance is coming. So we will just wait, and yeah, she is back. Now she will continue.
I hope it's better now.
Yes.
It was the usual puja at home. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So we cannot be living in ivory towers and saying ours is the best country. We have done excellently well, etc. Let's be, realistic. I've traveled extensively to many universities abroad, and I've seen what opportunities those children get, what the youth there are doing. One thing I notice is in countries in the West, any youth coming with a beautiful idea is respected. And you must have heard of something called venture capitalism. They pay for good ideas. And youth are doing great things here. Yes. One of my son is a young budding scientist in the US. Yes. I know what they have achieved. So am I justifying that brain drain is a good thing? No, it's not that. What I'm trying to say is we together with the youth, have to change our policies, help our youth in India to find the right infrastructure, the right backgrounds, the right atmosphere so they can achieve great things. And our country can also be something to be looked up on. People do say that we are a developing nation. We all agree, yes. But for a developing nation, what is the contribution that the youth can do? You all currently, what you can do, what the future youth can do to help us to become a beautiful nation by itself, all empowered. As a psychologist, the first thing I would say is youth have to learn to become resilient. You have to know how to handle your life. Don't go blindly by what is called, what is taught to you, the theoretical aspects, and they say, okay, this is what you can expect. Once you get an MBA, you will get a six-figure salary, your life will be this, that, etc., etc. It's not always true. Life throws challenges at you. Are we training our youth to face these challenges? This is my question. How many of us can focus, fight it out, manage our time, and really handle these hurdles? Believe it or not, in my clientele, maximum are from the youth sector. They come with problems like, doc, I can't concentrate. Doc, I have a memory issue. Doc, my life is a failure. There are some youth make a frantic call saying, doc, I want to end my life. मुझे जीना नहीं चाहिए. It's not worth it. There are many more like this. Some come and say, doc, I'm depressed. Where are we heading here? And there's one clan in the youth population who are throwing away all their talents, all their the so-called dynamo which is there within them by going towards substance abuses. Yes, dears, let us accept it. There are people going for, they get addicted to nicotine, alcohol, drugs, etc., etc. And many of these youngsters keep telling me, now what is wrong? ये तो ठीक है, ये तो fashion है. What is there in smoking a weed? In fact, I was sanctioned to do a set of workshops for college students in Bangalore, which I have been doing on drug addiction, awareness, drug awareness, and how to get out of it. The first 2 years, 17, 18, we reached out to many colleges, did this workshop, and you should have seen the kind of experiences that I went through. Young ones saying, we don't know how to handle our life, we've got into this. Some say, my friend said, marks come ho gaya. Chalo, all college students, I'm talking about the youth, I'm not talking about anyone else. Okay? And then they say, mera marks come ho gaya. My friend said, yaar, choda yaar, you take this, you smoke, you will feel good. Take one beer or alcohol, you will feel good. So where are we heading? We all know that when people are addicted to substances, you can get addicted to work, but when you get addicted to substances, your potentials get endangered. Are we wanting a society which will be desperate, which will be a total disaster? Or are we wanting a dream society where people would say, wow, wow, India? Okay, this is one aspect. Going further, is it that Indians and the Indian youth cannot perform? Is it that we don't have the talents? No. If any you go to US universities, you know what they say? This is my experience. When I travel to US or Germany, wherever it is, they say, oh, India, you people are very intelligent, especially science, mathematics, English. You people are excellent. So the same Indian who is doing extremely well in the US, why is it we are not able to do that in India? Very few come on. I'm sure all of you will say, ma'am, that is because of the red tapeism. That is because of the laws that are here. That's one aspect. The other aspect is our country is multilingual, multi-religious. Ours is a multicultural society. Yes, we take a lot of pride in being multicultural and multi-religious, etc. But somewhere, are the youth falling a prey to that? Are we not able to express our full potential because of that? Are we boggled by too many superstitions? Is it that we are not able to go beyond the superstitions? Culture बोल के using culture as a backstage, are we falling prey to certain other aspects which does not help us to grow? This is something which I have been thinking. There is another common issue which people are talking, especially my generation, this the so-called generation gap is always there between generations. So people of my generation would say, oh, aaj ki youth, oh my God, they don't want to respect our culture. Many parents seek my advice on this also. Couple of days ago, teenagers, not even teenagers, young men, two young men, the mother came and consulted me. She said, Beta aata hai ghar pe, dekhiye wo kya karta hai, he comes from college, puts the bag there, he doesn't even bother to acknowledge anyone at home, goes straight in his room, locks the door, and that's it. So the mother is perturbed. She said, I never grew up like this. हम लोगों के ज़माने में, when you come home, if somebody is there, whoever you are a doctor, you're a scientist, you're an engineer, that basic courtesy of acknowledging people at home is expected. So are these young people moving towards antisocial behavior? That's my question. And today's news and other stuff does talk about how many antisocial behaviors, the cause for it or the person who is involved in it are young youth. Terrorism, antisocial behaviors, economic frauds, and many other issues, crimes. Why is this happening? Take for example, the Delhi case of 2012 or the Bombay case of 2014. All young guys, or even the last year's, the Hyderabad case of a physiotherapist, veterinary doctor was brutally raped. All of them are young. So the rapists or the so-called convicts, why are they getting into this? If we define youth to be the most prime area of lifespan, where all your potentials can come out, then why is this happening? I would like to share a small little thing and end my statement here. I was just reading a little article on Sachin Tendulkar before he became a big celebrity, how he got into cricket. 55 days, it seems Tendulkar continuously was playing and playing and playing. He would play for 2 hours, come back, sleep on the dining table or whatever it is, rest, and then again get back and go back. Whereas, even when he had challenges, his approach was to face the challenge. Okay, there are many people amongst us, if a challenge comes, what do? We want to run away. When there is a challenge, there is a hurdle. How many of us have the guts to stand up and fight and say, no, I believe in this, I have a firm conviction, and move ahead? So going back to Tendulkar, what made Tendulkar a great player? He got into cricket during his youth days. What made him a great player, celebrity all over the world? Was it his talent? or was it his attitude? That's my question to all of you. Talent sabko hota hai. Everybody has got talents. But ultimately, when you go into the field of life, when you become a player, an active player in your life, in whatever you're doing, not as a cricketer alone, whatever you do, when you become an active player, what will bring success to you? Is it your talent or is it something more? If you ask me, as a psychologist who has guided thousands and thousands and thousands of youth, I would say it is your attitude. Have the right attitude, have the attitude of a winner. Don't give up. Be passionate. Then you can face hurdles. You'll say, man, this is easily said than done. When big challenges come in front of us, when our family is suffering and so many things are happening, how can we still face the challenge? But dears, I only request the youth of today and the future to train themselves in these skills of life. Come what may come, your subject will teach you only the subject knowledge. That subject knowledge you should be able to apply in life. Then you will be great success, and the whole nation and the world will look up to you. For that, you have to learn what is called emotional quotient. You have to develop your emotional quotient, your spiritual quotient. Don't get carried away by things. Think before you act. And that is intelligence. Just intelligence will not be enough to take you to great heights. I only hope, of course, we have many youngsters of India who have done extremely well in the world. If you look at Google's Pichai, he is a young person from India who went there and he has done so well. So if he can do it there, can't we do it in India? That's my question. There are hurdles. I have lived in India. I believe in living in India. But can we all, this question is to the 6 youth who are here, can we all put our brains and hands together, take the wisdom of the earlier generation like us, and put in your experience, expertise, and talents? I'm sure we'll be a great young country with a lot of things with the world will admire us for. So that's what I have to say today. Over to Mr. Goel.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, for giving in detail the very inspirational and motivational role of youth in society. And what Dr. Gandhi, although Dr. Gandhi has explained so nicely, I need not to summarize, but only one point which I would like to highlight, which she said is that why the youth of India is not doing the same thing what they are doing when they go abroad. Same youth, same intelligence, everything is same. Only difference is that if he is going there, he is creating new and new things. He's heading so many MNCs, and that is it means the potential, the intelligence, everything is there with the Indian youth. Something is missing, and she has said that it is a question to all of you who are participating today or who are watching our show, that one has to think closely that if Indians' brains are not that much high, then why everybody in the world are appreciating Indian brains? And Indians are doing well, everybody knows. So it means our youth have that potential, they have the intelligence, everything they have. They have to bring out their own things from inside. I will just add one thing. In the mythology, there was a character called Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman was not aware about his own potential. So when the question came, who is going to cross the sea, everybody was looking each other. Then somebody says only Hanuman can do it. When Hanuman was reminded, he knows, oh, this I can do. Similar thing is with our youth in India. We all are like Lord Hanuman. We all have that potential. Only thing is we have to just guide them. I think the responsibility lies with seniors like Dr. Sundari Gandhi and others. They have to take responsibility to give a guidance, give a some motivational to these youths, definitely they can do wonders in India only. Thank you very much, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, for giving such a inspirational and motivational thoughts on role of youth in society. Now, I would like to go to our youth participants today, youth guest, and I would like to invite my first youth guest, and she is Miss Aisha Siddiqui. Miss Aisha, please unmute yourself. Miss Aisha, you have heard what Dr. Sundari Gandhi, our chief guest, has spoken. I need
Yes,
not
sir.
to say it again. So we would like to
Yes,
know from you the role of youth in society. Miss Aisha Siddiqui, please first introduce yourself and then say.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aisha. I am born and brought up in Kolkata. I have recently graduated in 2020 from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. I've done my major in political science, and currently I'm doing digital marketing from an institute that is based in Kolkata itself. I'm also a part-time tutor. I give tuition to kids. Also, I'm a sales and marketing consultant in an education company. So, Dr. Gandhi's speech was really inspiring for youths like us. Coming straight to the point, what I think about the role of youth in society is that youths they have several roles to play. But I know that one person alone cannot do a lot to change the society. But if each one of us contribute, it will definitely make real and necessary changes that a society at any point of time might lack. Doing social services comes number one, but that thing is not restricted alone to the youths of the country. That is the moral responsibility of each and every person out there. Today I would like to focus on a very important issue that that I think should be discussed by more and more people. Being a youth myself, I have thought about this deep. It's regarding about how a youth can uh, contribute to the development of the society as a whole and also at the individual level. It is I've taken an economic perspective to look at things. Um, Selecting a right career for yourself, it is a very important decision that one makes in life. Okay, right career choices are really important because that not only helps you at the individual level but will also help the society to grow as a whole. And because at the end of the day, if we end up at making wrong career choices, what will happen is we will not be able to give our full potential. And if we don't give our full potential, the society will obviously not follow the growth trend. I will not just end by saying that we have to make a right career choice, but it's also necessary to know ways how we can do so. Because choosing a good career requires planning beyond getting a college education. First of all, it is important to know what are the opportunities that are available for you for your major that you do. By major, I mean the subject that we take up in higher studies. So we should know what are the opportunities that are available for us. And apart from that, we also have to build specialized skills and vocational trainings through which we can, that is built outside the classroom so that we can enhance ourselves, our personality, and the things that we take up. So choosing a right career is a big decision that we make in life, and we should not hurry up. We should take time. We should understand. We should analyze. We should introspect. We should ask ourselves, what is the thing that we do want to do in life? Because we have often seen that when we ask the children, or even when we were children and people used to ask us, what do you want to become? Children are more clearer in their vision what they want to become. If you ask them what do you want to become, they'll say they want to become a pilot or an engineer or a scientist and things like that. But as soon as children grow up, if you ask the same question to the youths, they tend to have a very dynamic vision of what career they want to have in life. They keep switching from one thing to the other because they're not sure. So it's time that we youths we take ourselves seriously, and it's also a reminder to myself and every youth out there that we should focus in things like as Sir Goel said and Ms. Gandhi said that we have to manage our time. We should not go late to bed and don't get up late in the morning. We don't have the whole time in the universe. We have to make most out of whatever we have in hand. So we should take career counseling. We should, understand what we are good at and then work accordingly. and we should not go blindly, because if we want to change ourselves, and if you want to change the society, as the topic says, first of all we have to groom ourselves, because if we don't change ourselves, how will we see the change in others, or how will we bring the change in the society? Even if we want to bring even if you want to support a single person's education, how will you do that if you yourself don't have that financial stability within you? So first of all, we have to groom ourselves. And also, there's one thing that I would like to add is this: follow your passion. I think it's a myth, because it's not necessary that every time you have to follow your passion and monetize it in order to legitimize it.
Please be brief.
You can, yeah, it's not like you have to do that. You can always take a different career, because you have to do it for your life until retirement. It's not like you have to do it for a day or two. So understand what you can be good at, and what thing will give you financial stability, what will make you a better person in life, and how can you change others lives also. And you can be a you can do what you're passionate about in your free time. It's not necessary that you have to take that up only. But if you, I'm not denying the fact, if somebody wants to go ahead with their passion, and they know they can be very good at it, and uh, they can definitely do that. But I'm just saying, don't hurry up before taking landing up on any decision. Take time and then work accordingly. I'll sum up with this. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aisha, for giving very good views that the youth should understand that if they want to play important role for the society, first they have to improve themselves. First, they have to see what they can do for themselves. If they are clear for their own career, definitely they can play a very important role for the society. Thank you very much. Very positive points what you have given. Now I would like to
Thanks,
invite
sir.
my next youth guest, and she is Miss Jefta P. Quadras. Ms. Jefta, please unmute yourself. Ms. Jefta, you have already heard our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, as well as the earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in society. Ms. Jefta Quadras, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, everybody. My name is Jasvita Prince Quadras, and I'm from Mangalore. I finished my bachelor's in psychology, journalism, and English major from St. Aloysius College in Mangalore in the year 2019. After that, I went to Delhi to do volunteerism in the CCBI National Youth Conference for the youth. And presently, I am the member of the International Youth Advisory Body under the Vatican. Well, greetings to everyone present here, and also the audience who are watching is the topic given to us, role of youth in society. I feel this topic is very important, but nobody really speaks of it. So this is a great opportunity for us, a great platform for us to come up and speak on the topic. It is a vast topic. Society itself is a vast topic. And when youth are connected to the society, I think it becomes even more vast. Like, for example, there is so many things connected. There is media, there is mental health, there is business, there is politics, and so many other aspects that are connected to the youth and society. Earlier, there was no platform for the young people to express themselves, all right, regarding any matter. Like, for example, like the aspects that I mentioned, there was no platform for us. We were more silent. We were more kind of shut down, and less importance or less conversations regarding the young people were spoken of. But today, media is playing such an important role. We have Instagram, we have WhatsApp, wherein we can voice out any social issue happening in the society. Instagram, it's right there. Young people can literally speak and voice out their opinions on Instagram or WhatsApp or any other social media channels. Today, the youth feel that young people are responsible. They feel more connected towards adults, so we try and imitate the adult. And but what is really happening? We When we see those social issues, we feel a little spark. Earlier, there was only spark, but today that spark has been transformed into a blazing fire. Young people have this blazing fire within us, And when I say within us, I include myself, because even I am a young person, even I am a youth. And this blazing fire is used and misused in the context of the society, which is a sad reality. Because usage, what way are we used, is the big question here. For personal benefit, for personal agenda by different people or organizations. Well, like how Sundari ma'am said, if we are tapped or guided towards the right direction, we can change that or transform that misusage into the right usage. Because everybody knows that we as young people have a lot of power, have a lot of potential, have a lot of strength within us. But people take this power and strength literally. By what I mean literally is that they use us physically. All right. The power, the strength that we have is used physically only. What about including young people into the decision making of the society? Where are we? Are we there in the decision making of the society? Are we there as active participants in the forefront of the society? I don't see them. Even if I see them, I see them, like I said, physically. I see them protesting, I see them fighting, I see them being used. Young people use other young people, like rapes, like suicides. Crimes are happening by the young people to the young people, which is a very sad reality. And like I said, literally, I think we need to change this power and strength from physical to also emotional to also intellectual. And this is very important. Moving forward, why aren't we involved in the decision making? I think it's really important that we, as I told you all earlier, I am closely connected with the church. For a very long time, young people were not seen in the forefront, but today we have begun questioning the elders. Please involve us in the decision making as well, because even we have ideas, even we have the potential, even we have the talents. But if you'll involve us, maybe you will get different ideas, creative ideas, I would say. Moving forward, my fellow speaker Aisha said how we need to change ourselves to change the society. This is where the topic of agents of change come. I think we are. It is very vital to understand that young people can be the agents of change. If I change myself, somebody else may look at me and change themselves as well. Because this is a personal experience and I have been through it. Initially, I was mocked because I became a changed person suddenly. But eventually, that person who used to mock at me understood as to why I'm trying to change myself. It was for the betterment of the society. And hence, she changed herself too. Moving forward, like I said earlier, we feel very responsible at this age. We try and be, elders. We try and imitate the adults, and when we do so, there is a lot of learning happening at this age. There is a lot of learning happening at this age. It could be for issues related to young people like breakups, family issues, relationship issues, or career choices. A lot of decisions has to be taken down during this period of life. So there is a lot of learning, and usually there is a lot of conflict when we learn, what decision to take. I think here again, there is a lot of negativity fed while we learn these things, because nobody wants us to grow. If young people start voicing out, if we are tapped and guided in the right direction, if young people go in the right direction, I think a lot of change is going to happen. And a lot of people do not really want that to happen. It is a reality, because I myself have experienced that when I voice out, nobody really wants to hear my voice, because we speak of the truth, the bitter truth of the society. I would like to conclude by saying 3 points. First thing is what Pope Francis, there was a synod on youth, and what there was an exhortation brought out by Pope Francis, in which he mentioned that young people are the now of God. We are the present, not the future, because the future never comes. We are not going to stay young forever. We are not going to have the same energy and zeal and strength forever. We will have it now. We are having it now, and only right now we can perform in our full strength and full behavior. So we are the now, we are the present one. The second point is we need to be open. As young people, there are so many opportunities that come our way, and I think we need to keep ourselves open to learning from elders, which is a very important thing. We need to keep ourselves open to be guided by the elders, and also keep ourselves open for the learning and for the inspiration. Like, for example, I took this.
Please be brief.
Yes, I took this opportunity to come forward into this live interview, and I got my inspiration from Sundari ma'am. So I was open to, inspiration. The second point. First point, that we are the now. Second point, we have to be open. Third point is that we need to be agents of change. To be the agents of change, we have to understand and believe that I am society, not we, not others, but I am society. And I think that is really important. With this, I would like to conclude. Today, I am speaking to the fellow viewers. I hope someday you all also get the opportunity. Young viewers, I hope you all also get the opportunity to come into this platform to speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jaswita. Very nice points you have raised. 2 points you have raised. One I would like to highlight. You said that the policy making, the decision making, and you said how you are now involving yourself and raising the questions for the decisions regarding the church. And until unless we will not raise these questions and we will not come in the policy making, we cannot change the society. But the problem lies with the youth. I will tell you that I am telling almost in all my youth role of youth program, which I am conducting twice a week, that in 1952, when the first parliament was constituted, 26% of the youth, that is up to the age of 45, was a member of parliament. In 26% member of parliament in the first parliament that was constituted in 1952 were the MPs of below 45 years, up to 45 years. This present parliament, which was constituted last 2 years back, 2019, only 12% are the MPs up to the age of 45. Whose fault is this? The fault is that the youth have been misused by the senior citizens like us. We are misusing. Youth should understand their own potential. They should not be misused. They should come forward in all aspects of the society, whether it is in politics, whether it's religious, whatsoever, and clean the society. Until you will not take over, you cannot, as you rightly said, you have to do for the present. If you have to do the present, you have to come in present. Don't think that you will be the future leader of the nation. You are the present leader of the nation. Realize your potential, come forward, participate actively, then only the society, what you dream or what our chief guest has mentioned, can be achieved. Thank you very much, Ms. Jaswita, for giving very nice views. Now I would like to move to my next youth guest, and he's Mr. Rakshit Kumar J. Mr. Rakshit Kumar, please unmute yourself. Mr. Rakshit, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, as well as earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in society. Mr. Rakshit Kumar J, please.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. I'm Rakshit Kumar J, and I'm final year IT engineering student in NITK Surathkal, and I'm from Mangalore itself. Apart from that, I volunteer for a non-profit called Make a Difference as a campaign city manager. So first thing I would like to say here is I could relate a lot to all the points which were mentioned by the speakers till now. Like how Mr. Lal Goel started with the elements of society, then how Dr. Gandhi, she spoke about how we can tap the right potential of the youth, and how Ms. Aisha, she spoke about the meaningful participation and how we can bring about the change, and how Ms. Jaswita spoke about how, we have to be open to change in order to bring the change around us. I think these are a few things which I could personally relate. And I would like to add on a few more things which I felt I need to share in addition to whatever has spoken till now. So the first thing which I feel is, if you see any social media platforms, maybe Quora, Twitter, we see everyone is just posting about problems, right? But how many of these posts are actually about solutions? How many of them take that step, that element of proactivity to find out solutions for all the problems which is existing in this world? The very basic example, being a student, which I can give is that of a college placements. So many people, they crib about, not good companies coming to the college, or companies not at all coming to the college for placements. Now, it does not mean that there are no companies at all. Like, there are so many good companies in India itself. And they also require good workforce, good working population. And if they don't come to college, there has to be some way they're recruiting everyone, right? So why not try to figure out those means of getting into those companies? Those companies can have their own competitions or seminars or conferences wherein they source for the right set of people whom they want. So why not put that effort to participate in these events, take up that step of proactivity there instead of just cribbing about it? And even like not just, this is just for simple example which I could think of, but at a society, at this world, we face so many problems, so many complex challenges at this point of time. So instead of just complaining about it, why can't we try to work together and solve it? So even when we come to work together, let's say if two of us work independently, then what is going to happen is 1 plus 1 is still going to remain as 2. But let's say if two persons work together with synergy, where they support each other, they complement each other's strengths, where they support each other's weaknesses, I think 1 plus 1 can be equal to 10,000. The whole concept of synergy comes into picture. And in order to understand the whole concept of synergy, we need to understand that we are mutually interdependent. The current social norms is, I'm independent, I'm on my own, but which is actually not true. Even if you see the nature around us, it's mutually interdependent. Like, hadn't nature been mutually interdependent, we wouldn't even been existing today. Forget the matter that we can achieve something out there. So if we can understand this basic concept of mutual interdependence, I think the competition, the war, the bigotry, everything can be cut down and we can live in a much more peaceful world. So uh, if you see the recent example, the COVID situation, a lot of like during the vaccine time, a lot of companies were giving out vaccines. I remember one particular week where I see on one day company has come with vaccine with so and so percent of accuracy. Company B has come up with another vaccine with so and so accuracy. Those companies are competing amongst each other to get their product first into market, right? The whole motive is profit out there. But what if the two companies work together? I'm sure we would have come up with a vaccine much more earlier and it would have been much more effective than what it is today. That's where the whole concept of synergy and mutual interdependence comes into picture. I mean, why are we competing? I understand the competition is good at some point of time because it will help us to level up all the products, all the skills which we are having. It can make this world a better place to live. But competition beyond a certain limit, I think it can cause a lot of harm to the society, and that is what is happening at this day to day. So I just want the youth of today to realize that instead of just competing, maybe we can work together, come together, work mutually, and work with synergy to ensure the best of everything to the world. And let's say another thing which I noticed is, let's say a friend of mine gets success in some field. Why do I have to feel jealous? Why there is a voidness inside me? Why is there a burning feeling inside my stomach? Why should I get jealous for someone else's happiness? If someone else is getting success, it does not mean that I'm not going to get my success. No, that's wrong, right? So instead of focusing on the other person, what if I focus on myself? What if I put on the right effort and succeed in my field? Or maybe we can work together with synergy. We can have much better results, right? We can have much more of happiness. The basic thing which we need to realize is there is abundance of everything for everyone in this world. So there's no point in cribbing about someone else's success. But what if we can work together and realize these basic principles? I'm sure if we implement all these and if we realize all these basic things, we can make this world a much, much, much better place to live, a very peaceful world wherein we can proactively find solutions to all the problems which we're facing in this world right now. And along with it comes another responsibility that as youths, it's true that we need to focus on ourselves, we need to focus on building our family, our relationships, but also, as Gandhi mentioned earlier, there is one section of society which is completely forgotten at this point of time, the most vulnerable ones. It can be the children who are living in shelter home, or it can be the sections of people who are living in the remotest of villages. Today we brag about having a 5G ready smartphone. We are so proud of it, right? But there's another section of the society who doesn't even have access to the landline phone. Forget education for that matter. So there are 168 hours in 1 week. And what if we just spend 1 or 2 hours just for their upliftment so that even they can have a better standard of living, and we can enable them so that they can have a leader who can stand up for their cause. So as youth, we can be the enabler of everyone around us. So I feel these are a few ways, in which we can make this world a much better place to live. Because one of our key responsibility here would be to make this earth a much better place than it was how we came here. Like, we are here today because I'm here today because of us, right? If not for us, I'm sure even I wouldn't be existing out there. So yeah, if all of the youths can realize these basic sense of responsibilities, I think we can have a beautiful world to live. And with that saying, I would like to conclude myself. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakshit Kumar, for giving your views. What Mr. Rakshit Kumar is emphasized on synergy. I would just like to add one thing, and I just want to highlight because he has given example of the vaccine, COVID vaccine. Try to understand there are 3 or 4 types of vaccines were developed around the world. There is no competition. Rather, there is a shortage. See, today we are 7 billion, more than 7 billion population around the world. Out of 7 billion, the total capacity of the vaccine in the world is 5.3 billion. If we will use 100% capacity utilization of all the manufacturers. Now it means almost 2.6 billion people can be given vaccine because there are 2 doses to be given to each person. So almost 2.6 billion will be covered in 1 year. And as you might be knowing, the COVID vaccine required almost every year. So we will not be able to cover the entire world population at any given time, because every year we will be only producing 2.6 or 2.7 or 2.8, and similarly the population is also increasing. So there is no competition. You might be surprised to know, or you might be knowing, that all the vaccinations program has been funded by many of the philanthropists like Bill Gates Foundation and others. They have funded. So it is not, there is no competition. Rather, there is a synergy among them, that they will be giving to these countries, they will cover to these countries. That's why India is bound to give. It's not voluntary to give to Pakistan also, because it has been funded by the entire the world community, the philanthropists, the WHO, United Nations. They all pulled the money to. So that is why it's a synergical. So I just wanted to correct you. Just go and Google it yourself, and you will find out that basically this is a synergy vaccination program which is going on. And I appeal to everyone, because you have given now a chance to say, all the senior citizens and all those who are eligible as of now by the government of India, please go and get yourself vaccinated as early as possible. All vaccines are safe. All vaccines are good. Anything which you say that 1 or 2 incidents which are happening, it can happen anytime. Like we are going on a road on a car or a scooter, anyone can ensure that we will not have an accident. No one can ensure. So similarly, so please go and get yourself vaccinated. Thank you very much, Mr. Rakshit Kumar. Yes, your point of synergy is required, and in vaccination, it is synergically things are happening. All the governments, our government and all the governments of the world, they are collaborating with each other. And that's why the vaccine our country has given, even to Brazil and all those countries, they are praising us, because we have to work as a synergical partner. Thank you very much, Mr. Rakshit Kumar, for giving your views. Now I would like to move to my next youth guest, and she is Sister Sarina CJ. Sister Sarina CJ, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, as well as earlier youth guests. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in society. Sister Sarina CJ, please.
Thank you, sir. Warm greetings to one and all. I am Sister Sarina CJ, the student of School of Social Work, Roshanilaya, Mangalore. I am a BSW student. I am basically a missionary in North India. I am born and brought up in Darjeeling, West Bengal. It gives me an immense joy to express my thoughts on the role of youth in society. And I would like to thank respected Sir Lal Goel for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir. To begin with, I quote the words of Swami Vivekananda. Give me 100 energetic young men and I shall transform India. India tops the list with 356 million young people to tops the list as a country world's largest youth population. Youth is the potential and energetic stage of everybody's life. We all know it. On the other side, society is a larger scenario in which everyone has to play their own role to create a better place for better living. Youth has the lion's share to make use of the potentials and energy for a better world possible. Society is the combination of sociological, political, economical, and cultural platform on which the life of everybody or life of every individual operates. Once the past President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, "Dream high." I repeat, dream high, and your dream should disturb your sleep to achieve the greater goals. Yes, it is true that youth should take the responsibility to penetrate into the sphere of society to reform the old structures, transform for better living, and conform with higher values of life. Here, I would like to focus on the role of youth in our society in 3 points. First, reform the old. I repeat, reform the old, which means India, as it has got all its heritage and customs in the socio-political, religious, cultural space, youth needs to reform the old and take our society to new heights. Our India needs new thinking, new brains to take away all the age-old practices which are not good for the growth of the people. Example, I can say dowry system, which has been carried out from the age-old, it has been an age-old system. A child marriage, which we can still find out in various parts of our country. And as a social worker, aspiring to be a social worker, and as a missionary, I have witnessed this child marriage still lies there in our society. Secondly, transform the society. Transform the society. In India, we are often caught up with superstitions and taboos. As the responsible citizen of India, youth has a greater role to take India beyond all these unhealthy practices and are still prevailing in our society. Thirdly, conform with the accepted value, which is, I think, very much important for today's youth like us. Conform with the accepted values. Youth has to respect the value system that has been handed over to us by our elders. I think it's very much important. The value of goodwill, peace, harmony should lead our country, and the youth needs to take the thoughts to lead our country. And finally, I would like to end my thoughts with the quotes of Venerable Mary Ward, the great woman who lived in 17th century and on whose footsteps I have been walking. For she said, "Be the seekers of truth and doers of justice." I repeat, be the seekers of truth and doers of justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sister Serena, for giving your views. One point I would like to highlight, which you mentioned about dowry. Whose fault is this? The fault lies with the youth. After all, the dowry means that the one bride has to marry to a bridegroom. If the girl refuses that I will not see that a single penny is to be given, and the other way, if the boy also refuses that I will not accept, so it means the youth have to take a decision if they are adults. And definitely, apart from the child marriages, the youths are adult at the time of marriage. When they are adult, the main role stands with the boys of the society. Boys should take a role, a strong step, a strong decision that we will not charge a single rupee from the girl side as a dowry. Definitely the dowry will be so
Yeah.
so here the role of youth is important. Forget the senior citizens or adults, middle age. No, if the youth decide, if you people will decide neither we will give dowry or nor we will accept dowry, then only this system can finish. Otherwise it will not finish. All the whatsoever we will say, because senior citizens, to satisfy their whims and wishes, this dowry system is continuing because they want to fulfill their ambition to show off to the society how much they have money, how much they can show off, how much they can give in dowry. This is the main problem. The youth have to come out from their shell. They must take a decision. We will not accept anything. We want a simple wedding, simple marriage, no shoshagiri, nothing. We only want that the people should come out and perform the wedding in whatsoever religion they are believing in that form, but no, nothing that lavish wedding should not be there and no dowry should be there. Thank you very much, Sister Sarina, for raising this very important point. And I'm sure the youth of our country will come out with a strong willpower and they say no to dowry. If the youth will start saying no to dowry, then no one, no senior citizen can impose and see to it that this very bad custom continue in the country. Thank you very much, Sister. Thank you very much, Sister Sarina, for giving your very, very valid and very good points. Now, I would like to move to my next youth guest, and she is Miss Vaishnavi Balal. Miss Vaishnavi Balal, please unmute yourself. You have heard our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, as well as you have heard earlier youth guests. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in society. Miss Vaishnavi Balal, please.
Good morning. I'm Vaishnavi Balal and I'm a final year medical student from Kasturba Medical College in the coastal city of Mangalore. In my eyes, society is very comparable to an edifice, wherein, as we all know, every single level is unique in its own way. If we were to introspect and really think about it, what level of this edifice does the youth constitute? A few of us might say that it has got to be the foundation because that is the most important part of any building. While a few others might say that this foundation is something that's been laid down long back by the previous generations itself, and the youth is the part that actually raises this building up to the skies. I think it's an amalgamation of both these, because the mellifluousness of youth has got to be infused into every single level to ensure that this edifice stands tall and strong. Now let's try and extrapolate this to today's society. No matter what sphere or domain one looks at, it could be the political, the economic, the social, civil, whatever it is, anything and everything has got to have the youth taking an active part in it. While it is easy and convenient even to just stand perched upon the shoulders of the previous generation, we've got to realize that it is our duty to ensure that this does not hinder our growth. We must ensure that we dream big and dare to propel ourselves into the stars beyond. Most importantly, youth isn't about a particular age group. It's more like a state of mind. Because I believe that one is never too young nor too old to try and make a difference. So why is there so much focus on this particular age group? The answer is pretty simple. It's because at this age, one is bustling with energy, which is why it becomes absolutely vital to actually channelize this energy into something constructive. This is where I'd like to broach in the topic called social entrepreneurship. To put it very simply, this refers to the art of giving back to society, wherein one uses one's talents and skill set to try and make the society a better place to live in. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Probably the single most important cornerstone for this ideal is to attain a good education. This has been repeated ad nauseum, but I am going to say it again because there is absolutely no substitute for knowledge. The importance of good knowledge simply cannot be overemphasized. But don't get me wrong, would that alone suffice? Definitely not. Good knowledge has got to be coupled with that burning desire to create change. Together, they seem to be an absolutely indestructible and invincible combination. We must learn to critically analyze every single piece of information that's been presented to us. It could be something that's been handed down since generations, or it could be an entirely new piece of information. Either way, learn to question, learn to voice out, learn to speak out for every single thing that matters and never accept things blindly. I understand that this is probably a juncture in our life where we are often confused. Sometimes we find that our thoughts are like stars that we simply cannot fathom into constellations. We find that we do try to make a difference, but sometimes we are just not able to change the world. Quoting from something that is very near and dear to my heart, a matter that really means a lot to me, animal welfare. So anyone who's involved in working for animals or something as simple as feeding stray animals knows that it can get quite distressing at times. We try to do our significant bit, but we find that often the world just remains the way it is. It is at these poignant moments that we need to realize that while it might not be possible to change the world because it might seem too daunting, we must instead pluck up every single amount of courage that we can muster and focus on changing that one life. Focus on those baby steps that we can take. Never lose sight of the big dream, the goal, the place where you ultimately want to be. But at the same moment, be very appreciative of every single deed that you are carrying out to get there someday. Always remember to dream big because the sky is the limit. There is absolutely no question about that. And if we were to really do that, there's this very endearing scene that readily comes to mind from the movie Lion King. So the king Mufasa, the father lion, he takes his young cub Simba to the very edge of an extremely tall cliff. And he says to him, everything that the light touches is our kingdom. And that is the kind of empowering thought that we need to equip the youth of today with. That if we dream it, we can definitely do it.
Please
and
be
indeed,
brief.
the world itself is ours for the taking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vaishnavi Balal, for giving very, very good views as well as think big. Yes, every youth, if they will start thinking big, definitely the change will be there. Thank you very much, Ms. Balal, for giving your views. Now, I would like to move to my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Vidat Sanil. Mr. Vidat Sanil, please unmute yourself. You have heard our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi. You have heard all the youth guests. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in society. Mr. Vidat Sanil, please.
Well, good morning and a good day to one and all. I am Vidat Sanil and I am an actor and a model as well. And apart from this, I am in journalism from St. Elisha's College. I'm a pass out right now. So, first of all, to quote the matter about youth in the society, it's a really vast topic, very huge topic to talk on. But exceeding it in 5 minutes is nearly impossible. But I think that's what we have to do right now. We have to try speaking it like in a really quick moment. Well, the lockdown is over. We have faced a huge pandemic, and right now we are trying to kickstart back our life. We're trying to reboot and restart our life. And I just want to quote one thing that's happened in like a year during the lockdown, where a lot of youths, a lot of people have come forward and they have tried helping out a lot of poor people. And this is just one point of my perspective that I like about all these people. They tried coming out of their comfort zones. Like all of us, we were trying to sit at home. We were like, "Arey yaar, there's corona everywhere, there's virus everywhere. Let's not go out. Let's just sit at home. Let's just stay in our comfort zones. Humko kya hoga?" That's what we've been thinking around. But as I've been seeing around in news, there have been people going around helping the poor people, helping the stray dogs and all the animals, like feeding them. So I think this is one of the very sweetest moments that I felt during the lockdown. And of course, talking about movies, yesterday itself, to make myself ready for today's program, I was watching this movie called Gabbar is Back, starring and featuring Akshay Kumar from May 2015. Well, I think that movie has a lot of messages to give out to the youth, not just the youth, but also to the other people. For the people who have watched the movie, it clearly determines one thing, that that movie is basically for the youth to help and curb the corruption in the country, to come out of it and to detriment the part of corruption in the country. And speaking about the youth, it's not just their duty to help around in the society or to just stick around in the society, but also the whole of the nation. Because as I see it, youth is the backbone of not just the society, but of the nation, of any nation, be it India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, or anywhere. Youth is a part of the whole of the nation. And there are a lot of vast theories for them. For example, be it politics, be it films, be it modeling, be it any strata, be it MNCs. I think what I feel is one of the huge drawbacks for the youths in this country is, I think, they do not get a lot of opportunities, is what I see it. They do not get a lot of opportunities because the other generation who are trying to promote youths, they only want to check out their degrees, or they want to see from which background they are from. They do not go out to check out their knowledge, because what I feel is the youths of India are highly acknowledgeable. That's one of the most huge drawbacks that the youths are facing. And yeah, I don't want to conclude on such small matter, but because there's a lot of things to talk about. But as I was saying,
Okay.
there's a lot of things to say, but then
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Vidat, for giving your views. I will just mention one thing. You rightly said that youth have to change and come for the corruption, etc. I have also seen that movie which you have mentioned, Gabbar is Back. Only thing is, youth should be non-violent without using violence. Please don't use the violence, and then definitely one can.
Actually, that is what we are seeing all around the country, sir. Because these youth, they feel that violence is the key.
No, the violence should not be there.
Yeah, everything can be sorted out in peace. Everything can be sorted out non-violently, and that is what the main message for the youths of the country.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Vidat. Panel.
Thank you.
Now I would like to go back to our chief guest, Dr. Sundari Gandhi. We have a limitation of time of 3 minutes. Your concluding remark, please, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. Goel, and thanks to this young team from diverse areas whom I've been listening to. Starting with Mr. Goel's question on, is there a missing link which makes the youth of India still run towards other countries? Yes, we have to think about it. Is the missing link coming to the speakers, starting with Aisha? Aisha said that as kids, we are very clear about what we want. But when we become young adults, we don't know what we are doing. We are confused. Why? Maybe our education system is all wrong. Maybe the parenting is all hayway. There again, all of you young ones have a major role as youth, parents. You have to learn parenting skills. Don't make the mistake that your parents made or whoever made it in your lives with your kids. Okay? So that's a question to think about. And maybe youngsters should start thinking about becoming more stable and not vacillate. Jaswita said, should we become good decision makers? What is this decision making? Who teaches us that? Are you all aware that in the brain there is a part which is called the executive brain, which does all the decision making? Yes. Decisions are made by you and me. It's not made by someone else. So should we find, and this is a thought for the youngsters here, the youth, could you create, there is a medical student here, Vaishnavi Balal. My request is, maybe you could do research on the brain and find out if that area which helps you to make decisions can be enhanced. Don't pass the buck. We have to look within and see what we can change to help the world change. Rakshit said, I fully agree with Rakshit when he says that we youth have to be the solution, the synergy. Let's all work together, as Mr. Goel said. Our country can make it big only if we start working together, especially the dynamo, which is you all. So let's work with synergy. Let's not, the crab mentality should go from our society. One person is rising, the others look at how can I pull that person down. So please get rid of that. Have a lot of confidence in your own substance and make sure that you make this country big. Vaishnavi said active participation. I liked what she said, that you as youth should be the bustling fire which helps to, the bustling energy which helps to sort of synthesize the whole society into one, the nation into one, and make it a great nation. With that said, Can we create the opportunities? That's a question for me to Vidat. Vidat didn't say it, but he was saying opportunities are lacking. My question is, if every youngster could think of being an opportunity creator, I'm sure we will all be happy people, and the youth will be extremely happy, and this world will be a better place to live. So on this day, I just wish to conclude by saying, this is the time to wake up. Wake up call is there for all of you, the young ones. The time is now. Don't put it off. There is nothing called impossible. I used to do a set of workshops called Dream the Impossible and Make It Possible. Every one of you can make it possible if you dream it big. I, in fact, would like to add one line here. The lady who is sitting in front of you and speaking to you right now, Dr. Sundari, 1968, as an 8-year-old, I was a total failure. In academics, in my extracurricular, etc., etc., I could not speak a word. But there came a man in my life from my school. She did that magic. She made me realize, make the impossible possible, dream it big. And I dreamt as an 8-year-old that I will become a very good speaker. And I grew up into a youth who became an audacious speaker who could speak, motivate, mentor people. So that's my little request to all of you young ones. Don't ever give up this fire. Keep paving your path and reach the goal. Don't stop till you reach the goal. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sundari Gandhi, for giving again a inspirational, motivational thoughts, concluding remark. So today you have seen the role of youth in society, and the youth are ready. They are very clear. All the 6 participants have given their very, very clear thoughts. They are ready to change the society. They are ready to give a good society for everyone. Are we ready? Are the civil society is ready? Why we are not giving the chance? Why we are underestimating the potential of our own youth? We must understand that they are vibrant, they have new thoughts, they are full of energy. We must give them the chance, not only at our home, but everywhere in the positions of the decision making, policy making, whether it's a society, whether it's a church or temple or mosque, or even in the parliament or the legislative councils. Think over it. I'm sure that today's this media conference will definitely give a jolt to everyone who is watching the show, whether they are youth or the senior citizens. They must change their mindset. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow, media conference with Lal Goel, the topic at 10:30 a.m. is government hijacking Hindu temples? Yes, you have heard correctly. Is government hijacking Hindu temples? And the panelists are Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, one-man expert commission on labor, Government of India. Architect B.R. Ajit, Chairman and Director, Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovations, past District Governor, Rotary International 3201, Kochi. Mr. P.K.D. Nambiar, Marketing Strategist and Political Analyst, Managing Director and CEO, Flex Communications, Chairman, B Square Group, New Delhi. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Dr. Sundari Gandhi. And thank you all the youth guests who have joined and make our today's media conference very, very youthful and very useful and for the society. Thank you very much. And thank you all the viewers. I'm sure you all are enlightened with today's program. Thank you.